connected to me. She is the root connection. She is connecting with me. Here I go and I don't know why. I spin ceaselessly. Could it be he's taking over me? I'm dancing barefoot, headed for a spin. Some strange music draws me in, makes me come on like some heroin. All right, hello out there. Welcome to Musical Mondays. We're having a few technical problems. We started Musical Mondays a few minutes ago and got booted out. Poor connection. So maybe the Instagram machine is still not working properly. Hello, Orange G. Thank you for joining. I was just saying we'd started Musical Mondays and got booted out. So we'll see if this works this time. So I'm just I'm talking about some musical influences. So I was just playing a little Patti Smith. She is sublimation. She is the essence of thee. She is concentrating on he, chosen by she. Here I go and I don't know why. I spin ceaselessly. Could it be he's taking over me? I'm dancing barefoot, headed for a spin. Some strange music draws me in, makes me come on like some heroin. All right, there's a little Patti Smith for you. I thank you for listening. Thanks for joining the Rad Cyclist. We lost a few people early on because Instagram booted me out. So so welcome to Musical Mondays. I'm doing a little show on some of my musical influences. So I started with Patti Smith. Who's a Patti Smith fan out there? Patti Smith's a huge influence on my songwriting. I know I sound nothing like her, so that's kind of a funny thing to say, but I would say that Patti Smith, out of any songwriter or artist that I've discovered and explored, really influenced my lyric writing, and her commitment to poetry and seeing an idea through in a song really inspired me. I remember the first time I heard Patti Smith I think it was at a party when I was 19 or 20. The friends was playing her record Easter at this party, and I remember hearing it and I was completely blown away, and I was like, what is this music? Oh my goodness, I have to have it. So right after the party I went out and I think bought all of her music at the local record store and listened to it, and bought all of her books of poetry and read all of her poetry. It was amazing. So this was the days before the internet, of course, and Patti Smith has a huge presence on social media and on the internet now. So that's pretty cool too, to kind of follow what she's up to in that way. So I was just playing a little bit of Dancing Barefoot. You know, I used to know this song, and I need to refresh my memory. This was a song that I played a cover of years ago. Dancing Barefoot's a great song. Here I go when I don't know why. I spend so ceaselessly. Could it be he's taking over me? I'm dancing bare. I can't remember the chord. I'm dancing barefoot, headed for a spin. Some strange music draws me in, makes me come on like some heroin. Alright, so there's a little bit of Patti Smith. You know, some other influences. I'm glad you guys like Patti Smith and you can relate to that. Some other influences, I would say Jane Siberry, a huge influence. And Orange G, you might not have heard of Jane. I'm just pulling her up on my Spotify here. She's a Canadian singer-songwriter that had some kind of college radio art rock hits here in Canada, maybe the US and Australia too, in the 80s and 90s. Fabulous singer-songwriter. Oh cool, you were playing along with me. Awesome, on my cheesy new stylophone. Hey, I should get you to join. We should play it together. I don't know if there'd be a syncing issue. We should try that. Yeah, check out Jane Siberry. She's amazing. Fabulous singer-songwriter. Play a little bit in the background. This is a song off of her second album. Yeah, her last name's Siberry, Siberry. And yeah, she's been an musical idol of mine since I was, again, I think 19 years old, which was when I first discovered her music, and I followed her career for decades. And, you know, it was a dream come true in 2018. I got the chance to open for her at a concert in Vancouver. It was just amazing. I have to say, it was one of those life moments that was incredible. And she was so generous with me and took me under her wing, and we had such a lovely time and a lovely show at the Wise Hall in Vancouver. So this is a song called One More Color. And she's really... I find her songwriting very inspiring because she is so creative and her songs are so unique, and the way she pairs words and phrasing and timing and everything, key signatures and instrumentation together is quite something. And she's gone on, I would say, quite a musical journey and explored her songwriting in a lot of different ways and paired with other singers and musicians. Yeah, so she's got lots to explore. She's had songs in film, some pretty big songs in films. I think, I don't know if you're familiar with the film The Crow. I think it's quite big in the sci-fi world, maybe. So she had her song, what was it called? It Doesn't Rain All the Time in that film. And she had a song in a Wim Wenders film. Anyway, so I just love how she explores a story in songs. And I would say that she's also inspired me in the literary pop realm, so kind of telling a story through music. Excuse me. So yeah, that's a little bit about Jane as an influence. Okay, Orange G, you haven't heard of Jane yet. Definitely check her out. And I also think the lag would be horrendous. One sec, I have to get my water. I'm losing, I'm having a cough. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah, the lag would be horrendous, I think. Excuse me. Yeah, so those are a couple of singer-songwriters that I absolutely adore. Patti Smith and Jane Siberry. And hello, Small Opera Music. Thank you for joining. So I might play one of my songs. I'm kind of like, I don't know, of 2 or 3 minds which one to play. And we'll see if, excuse me, my throat cooperates tonight. I don't know. How did you all do with the Facebook and Instagram outage today, and WhatsApp? I'm sure you had beautiful things to focus on other than social media, I hope, through the day. I keep playing this song, so maybe that's the one I'll do tonight. Okay, Orange G saying it was okay, a little confusing at first. Yeah, it was, like many people, I thought there was something wrong with my phone. Strange, eh? Strange that the platforms would go down for so many hours completely. You'd think they would have some kind of fail-safe for that. Yeah, Twitter. I loved Twitter's tweet. They did a tweet after it was clear that the other platforms were down, saying welcome or hello everybody. Everybody had moved over to Twitter. Interesting times how one company is controlling those 3 big social media apps. Yeah, I think it, from what I understand, it had a big impact on business, because there's a lot of businesses that use those tools as either, selling and advertising platforms or communication platforms for their companies. So I think that had a bit of an impact, but not for me. I work in education, so although I couldn't do any posts on Facebook or Instagram, and maybe that was a blessing to have a little bit of a reprieve, a little bit of a break from social media. The Rad Cyclist is saying, makes me think of how we rely on the connection. It's true, I did have a moment where I was thinking, so what if Instagram and Facebook were really gone? Like, what if they were gone? And I started thinking about all the content I have on the platforms and thinking, well, yeah, that's not such a big deal, because I'm pretty careful to save my content and to reproduce most things on my website. But it did get me thinking about the people that I've connected with on the platforms, and it's like, how would I contact them? I guess, there's still Twitter, so I'm connected to most of you on Twitter as well. But then I started thinking, wow, I have all these robust and varied direct message threads on Instagram, where I've had just such involved and wonderful conversations with people. I was thinking those would all disappear, and then I'd have to think about how I might want to reach people outside of social media. It's like, yeah, people, I could find people somehow. Anyway, it just started me on this random thought experiment, just similar to what you're saying, Victoria, about how we rely on the connection and what would happen if it was gone. So, and maybe that's why my hand is gravitating towards playing this song of mine. It's called Coda, because this song is about kind of relying on social media and relying on connection that way. And it's actually a little bit of a critique and about getting lost in the connection. So maybe I'll play that tonight. And I should mention I was talking about some of my songwriting influences, and I would say that in this song you can hear some of them. I would think mostly lyrically. I would say that this grew out of a poem, so probably thinking about those early influences on my songwriting of Patti Smith and Jane Siberry. Yeah, I can see it coming into play here. Not so much musically, although, maybe Jane a little bit, because the recorded version of this song, there's a bit of a whimsical feel to it, and I would describe some of Jane's songs as whimsical. And I'm always hesitant to use the word whimsical as a descriptor, because I think some people think it means that it's lightweight or not to be taken seriously, but that's not how I mean it at all. I mean it more of like wonderment and wonder of life, wonderment at the world. So there's a bit of that in this song, and if you listen to the recorded version, there's a banjitar in it that adds kind of a folksy Sesame Street feel to it, so it's almost like it's a little kid's story as well. Anywho, I'll play the song so you can hear for yourself. And I might be a little close to my phone, so I'm just going to move back a few inches so that I don't blast my phone mic. Alright, so this is Coda, and it's the last song off of my current album. And this album's called The Song I'll Write for My Whole Life. And if you're interested in hearing some of my other songwriting influences, I will probably do that next week as well. I'll delve into a bit of a different focus. I was talking mostly about lyrics tonight. But there's also a playlist I created on Spotify called The Songs That Inspire Me, where I've collected a bunch of songs from artists, famous and not yet famous, songs that have inspired me as an artist. So check it out if you're on Spotify. And give it a green heart if you're there too. All right, this is Coda. Covering up my hopes, scaring love away. When the light goes out in your eyes, it's like a star falling from the sky. Stumble around, half alive, the light missing from their eyes takes on repeat in our minds. It's much better to be blind when the light goes out in your eyes. It's like a star falling from sky. Is it hope buried deep, coming alive? If we dig deep, I know we'll find a tightened heart to unwind. When the light goes out in your eyes, it's like a star falling from the sky. When the light goes out in your eyes, it's like a star falling from the sky. When the light goes out in your eyes, it's like a star falling from the sky. When the light goes out in your eyes, it's like a star falling from the sky. And it's a song I'll write for my whole life. There we go. Oh, thank you so much, Orange G. Thank you for listening, you guys. I really appreciate it. Lovely to have you tune in. And Orange G, I should mention to you that I gave you a shout out at my show on Saturday night. It's on YouTube, but yeah, I gave you a shout out right at the end as one of the people that I connected with, have connected with during the pandemic online, and talking a little bit about connections with other singer-songwriters in other parts of the world. So yeah, it was fun to be able to do that, to say I've met a singer-songwriter in Philadelphia who I actually haven't met in person yet, but there you go. One day, maybe next summer. So that's great. Thank you all for tuning in. It's great to have you. Great to have you tune in, and I hope you'll tune in next week and we'll continue the conversation about songwriting. I will probably focus a little bit more on musical influences rather than lyrical influences, which I focused on tonight, and I'll play some more music too, and maybe some covers. Thank you for joining, Martin Carl Mihitu. Great to have you here, and I'm sorry we're just winding down for the night because I like to keep these under half an hour. So I hope you're all well, and again, thanks for tuning in, and maybe we'll see you next week. All right, take care, everybody. Bye.